We'll move next to Joel Harden, followed by Gawain Harding, and then Matt Lorty. So Joel Harden, if you're available, go ahead.
I certainly am, Mr. Mayor. Can you hear me?
Yep, go right ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I appreciate your work as the member of Provincial Parliament for Ottawa Centre. I was at Queen's Park for the week. I got in late last night. I heard you had a busy day yesterday, so thank you for including me for today. It's not often that I delegate to municipal committees, but this particular project at Lansdowne not only sits in Ottawa Centre. My own family lives very close to this project, and we followed the discussion closely in the community. I wanted to share a few thoughts that I think follow very much in the footsteps of what Katie Burkholder-Harris has tried to say to the city, to you, to the committee. I have been watching the debate on not only the housing crisis in our province, but the housing affordability crisis. And my worry, my friends, is that this particular proposal that's been put forward at Lansdowne does nothing to solve that particular housing affordability crisis. I want to talk particularly about, as I understand it, with the evidence been released and that I'm familiar with, I want to talk about the significant investment this represents, as I understand it, from a recent community meeting. This particular project would represent the second biggest infrastructure project the city has embarked upon after the LRT. And I don't see in the project before me any significant movement around creating affordable housing for our community, which is so urgently needed. As I understand it, staff have recommended that the requirement for this project to allocate funds for affordable housing in the magnitude, as I understand it, of almost $10 million has been reduced to $4 million. I regret to mention, and it's something I think you are familiar with, the province of Ontario has also reduced the revenues to municipalities across Ontario with Bill 23 and the ability of municipalities to assess development charges. So increasingly, we are dealing with a shrinking pie and of revenue to be able to create truly affordable housing. And what I think Ms. Burkholder-Harris and others have said very convincingly is all of the resources that we have available to us at all levels of government have to be marshaled now, immediately, to make sure that all neighbors have truly affordable housing. I know through this winter, we are going to be seized with the same debate we have been every winter, the amount of neighbors who are sleeping outside in a frigid Nordic capital. Our shelters, despite their best effort, filled to capacity. And the fact that in our city right now, in the downtown core in particular, we have publicly funded buildings sitting almost completely vacant or largely vacant. We have capacities like we have at Lansdowne, where we do not have, at least in the design that I'm familiar with, any provision to have deeply affordable housing on site. It would seem the only affordable housing that's at Lansdowne is the $1 rental agreement to the Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group to operate the facility for a year, which, as I understand it, has already operated at a deficit in excess of $150 million. And this particular project, as I understand it, represents an almost $500 million investment. While I absolutely respect the fact that business has to be supported in our city, particularly through the difficult times recently of the pandemic and the recovery since, my priority and my accent that I'd like to share with you this morning, again, following on Ms. Burkholder-Harris, is the need for us to marshal any and all available funds available to every level of government for deeply affordable housing, to look at Lansdowne as a model that we could use to create that kind of affordable housing. And Mr. Mayor, I will leave my comments at that. We'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you for your time this morning.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation.